Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look again on the euro currency. So as usually I have prepared an update, weekly report where we have taken a look at the major events. The data had been released, a lot of data have been published this week. Inflation, consumption, some sentiment indexes, statement from the Jerome Powell, so a lot of stuff. And the analysis of this data has led us to a really interesting conclusion. And not only of this data, but we also have identified a very important event that mostly have been ignored by the mass media. There were some articles on the subject, but they has passed just briefly. Mostly media were concentrated on the Donald Trump trip to the Middle East and Russia-Ukraine negotiations. But this event that has happened, we think, as might be a cornerstone for a United States debt market and the budget deficit dynamics. So it is a very important thing. And by the overall analysis, somehow we come to conclusion that until the probably end of the July and August, it might be a really quiet period because a lot of things coincide, in particular in August. I mean, the tariff postpones or temporal terms for reciprocal tariffs. It's 90 days by the Donald Trump. It should be ended in August approximately. The debt sale comes in July. So, and some other things you will see also might be come in some culmination point, particular in July and August. So by the way, actually the first impact of the tariffs that will come in prices also will be visible somewhere in the middle of the summer. And all this stuff makes us think that until this moment, hardly the serious business will do something, will do anything actually. Because if you're a serious businessman, you're in a situation of the uncertainty where you have some temporal period of the tariffs relief until the end of August for the 90 days. Whether you're going to do something in this period, hardly. Especially if you're in the summertime, this is vacation time, and actually it makes sense to just do nothing, take the rest, and then when this period will be over, return back and see what will happen. And that probably will make impact on the Forex market as well. So within the 2-3 months, we probably might get relatively quiet and gradual performance on the Forex as well. We will see. If, of course, something extraordinary will not happen. So, speaking about the shorter term perspective, just to remind you that the 110.40, 110.50 area is very strong support. And we are gradually coming to the big trade on the weekly chart, suggesting the bounce up from this area somewhere back to, I don't know, maybe 114 area, somewhere to this level. So this is the 3 points, in fact. By the euro, it's a really nice potential result. For those of you who trade on the longer term charts, for example, on the weekly, we said through the previous week that you could gradually start accumulating the long position if you would like to possess yourself with this trade. So having this downside drop, you could take some part of the position, moving lower down to the 110.50, 10.40, add more. So gradually accumulate the position on the way down until this level. So because you never know where and how market could start sell prediction, could start actually surprisingly by some triggering factor or something might happen that could change slightly the nominal in the general technical picture. Other traders who trade on the lower time frames, they probably could try to apply some entry tactics with the more precision. Particularly speaking, with the performance that we see on a daily, as we mentioned last week, that we treat this upward action mostly as a reaction on the oversold area rather than the starting points of the big retracement that we're expecting on the weekly chart. The chances that this downside action still could happen and market should test these levels still exist. It's just because actually the major support has not been tested yet based on the daily chart. Here is also on the daily chart you can see that context remains bearish for now. On the lower time frame, on the fall time frame chart, reasons for that suggestion is existence of the untouched XOP target. Taking into consideration that overall downside action here was relatively fast, its acceleration to the OP, retracement has happened, and we still think that the XOP around 110 even might be tested. It's also might be finalized in the shape of the butterfly. That's what we discussed last week. And it could see that on Friday, we said that based on the intraday picture, it seems that market could try, well, at least it keep both scenarios on the intraday chart valid, with the possible upside action, possible downside, but we're gravitating more to the bearish scenarios, mostly because of the daily bearish context. And you can see on Friday that has happened. So we've got this downside drop. Now, the one of the moments that you need to consider on the fall time frame chart is a possible reshaping of the butterfly pattern. It might happen. I think that the chances for that are not really high, but sometimes it happens that the pattern might be reshaped. So, for example, if market will show some retracement, it doesn't mean that the overall context here has been broken. It could mean that market is just enlarging the butterfly pattern. So what we initially were treating it like the whole butterfly, it might become just the half of it. So if you will see this bounce, don't panic and actually don't think that actually this definitely should lead to the upward continuation. It also might happen, but for now, it's not the case. So in general, the reshaping does not change the overall background and invalidation point of the pattern. As it was at this point, the vital point for a pattern, it remains at this point. So breakout of this point will cancel the butterfly. But it could make impact on your break-even stops that you haven't placed last week. So for instance, if you have here some break-even stops and market will start upward action and will touch it, don't hurry up the immediate taking the new short position. Just watch what will happen. Try and take position if you still would like to take the short as close to the top as possible because of this market reshape. So that's just common thoughts on the situation on the 4 time frame chart. At the same time, for the truth's sake, if you take a look at the hourly chart, chances for reshaping are relatively low. Why? Because this drop actually stands as a failure of the hand and shoulders. So if hand and shoulders already is under the failure procedure, it's almost never reestablish the validity of the pattern. It happens very rare. So in most cases, just keep going with the failure and dropping below the low. So chances that the shape of the butterfly will change are not really significant. So the one thing that you need to wait and see on the Monday, just confirmation and drop below 1140 area. Once market will break the final support here and keep going lower, that will confirm that everything goes just great, and we're coming to the 110 area with the challenging first these lows and then down to this major target. So if somehow it will happen still that we're going here, then keep an eye on the pace. So if you will get this kind of action very fast, straightforward acceleration, probably it makes sense to not take another attempt to go short and see what will happen. If it will be very slow and gradual, in this case, another attempt for taking the short position might be done somewhere around the potential neckline, if market will reach it. So because in this case, you could get this shape of the butterfly. But as I said, in the current situation with this pattern in the back, I think that it's not really really big chances that this will happen. So for now, we keep the bearish view on the intraday charts, watching for completion of our target, keeping the shorts that we've got last week, and see what will happen on Monday.